Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be rebuilding the San Francisco 49ers. If you live under a rock and haven't seen it, a month ago the Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers for a second, third, and fourth for this year, and then also a fifth round pick for next year. So that increases the Niners run game a lot, and it definitely helps Jimmy Garoppolo out in the pass game. So speaking of that, let's look at the offense. They have Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback, Kyle Juszczyk at fullback, Christian McCaffrey obviously at running back. They got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Ray McLeod. They have Teron Williams, Banks, Brendel, Buford, McGlinchey, and then George Kittle at tight end. So on the offense, we definitely need to rebuild the quarterback position. Will definitely be helpful to upgrade, and also probably the interior lines like left guard, center, and right guard. And then on the defense, we've got Hufanga, Greenlaw, Warner, Fowles, Ward, Thomas, Bosa, Omenu, Armstead, Abukum, and Ward. So we should probably look into upgrading corners, the left side linebacker, maybe the offensive line, or the defensive line, I mean, but probably mostly just corners and then a linebacker. And then also on special teams, they have Wisnowski and Gold. Okay, I'll update you guys if I have another trade. Okay, so I just sent Elijah Mitchell to the Bills for Mitch Morse and a fifth round pick. Elijah Mitchell was our backup halfback, so he was no longer needed, and we traded for Mitch Morse, who will definitely be better than the 62 overall center. Okay, so I just sent two fifth round picks for this year and a second round pick for next year to the Broncos for Quinn Miners, who will definitely increase the right guard position, going up 8 overall. Okay, so I just sent two fifth round picks for this year and a second round pick for next year to the Broncos for Quinn Miners, who will definitely increase the right guard position, going up 8 overall. Okay, so I just sent Jimmy Garoppolo and a first round pick for next year to the Dolphins for a first round pick for this year, which I'm going to flip in order to get a better quarterback. Okay, so I just sent the first round pick that I got from the Jimmy Garoppolo trade in Javon Kinlaw to the Arizona Cardinals for Kyler Murray, which will definitely improve our quarterback game. Okay, so we're at the halfway point of the season, so I thought it would be a good time to look at the stats. Kyler Murray has almost 2,000 yards passing with 12 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. While on the rushing side of the ball, Christian McCaffrey has 650 yards about with 5 touchdowns. Receiving wise, Brandon Ayuk has 500 yards, and Deebo Samuel has about 430. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Fred Warner leads the team in tackles with 56, Dre Greenlaw with 49. Tackles for loss is led by Abukum, and then sacks is led by Nick Bosa. Interceptions is led by Fred Warner with 3, and I'm going to see if we had any fumbles. And we did, and we had 2, one by Talanoa Hufanga and one by Emmanuel Mosley. So far the defense is playing well. Team's 4-4, so let's see if we can make it to the playoffs. Okay, it is now the end of the season. We finished 10-7, which means we made the wild card and we were playing the 9-8 Giants, but that also means that we finished the top of the NFC West at 10-7 with the Seahawks going 8-9, the Rams and Cardinals both going 7-10. Let's take a look at how the players did. Okay, starting with quarterback, Kyler Murray had 4,000 yards. Rushing wise, Christian McCaffrey finished with 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. Receiving wise, Deebo Samuel finished with 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns, while Brandon Ayuk finished with 876 yards and 6 touchdowns, and then George Kittle finished with 766 yards and 7 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, Fred Warner leads the team with 103 tackles, and Dre Greenlaw barely got 100. Regarding sacks, Nick Bosa had 11.5, Abukum had 9, and Eric Armstead had 8.5. Now, interception-wise, Fred Warner had 5, and Travarius Ward had 5. Let's see if we forced any more fumbles, and it looks like we did. We had Jimmy Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Emmanuel Mosley, and Talanoa Hufanga both force a fumble each, so let's go see if we can win this wildcard game then. Okay, so before we take a look at the NFC wildcard game, we're going to take a look at the awards. So for NL MVP, it was Patrick Mahomes. Coach of the year, it was Andy Reid. And then for the NFC, Cooper Kupp was the OPOY. And then for DPOY, it was Leonard Floyd. For Offensive Rookie of the Year, it was Kenneth Walker III. For Defensive Rookie of the Year, it was Jaquan Brisker. For Best Quarterback, Sam Darnold. Best Running Back was Alvin Kamara. Cooper Kupp won Best Wide Receiver. Best O-Line was was won by the Niners' Quinn Miners. D-line was Brian Burns. Linebacker was Leonard Floyd. DB was C.J. Henderson. Best kicker was Jason Myers. So it looks like we only had Quinn Miners win any awards. Okay, so we beat the New York Giants 42-14. Kyler Murray had 260 yards for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Christian McCaffrey had 59 yards with 0 touchdowns, but Kyler Murray rushed in for a touchdown, and also Davis Price did. Receiving wise, Debo had almost 100 yards with 0 touchdowns. George Kittle had 71 yards with 2 touchdowns, and Ayuk had 53 yards with 1 touchdown. And then defensive wise, Dre Greenlaw led the game with 8 tackles. Samson Ebukam had 2.5 sacks. Did we have any interceptions? We had 2 by Jimmy Ward and 1 by Talanoa Hufanga. And then did we have any fumbles? Fumbles wise, we had no fumbles. So we play the Buccaneers in the divisional game. Let's see if we can win that. Okay, so as you can see, we won 16-15 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's look at the stats. Kyler Murray had 122 passing yards with rushing wise. Christian McCaffrey had 121 yards with 2 touchdowns. Receiving wise, Brandon Ayuk had 60 yards, Raymond McLeod had 38, George Kittle has 18, and Deebo Samuel had 0. And then we had defensive wise, we had Fred Warner lead the game with 10 tackles for loss. We had Armstead lead with 2 sacks. We had Eric Armstead and Samson Ebukam with 1 sack each. Interceptions wise, we had 0 interceptions. And did we have any fumbles? We had 0 fumbles. So I don't know how we won that game. It must have been through like field goals or something like that. But I'll see you guys in the conference championship. Okay, so as you guys can see, we lost 21-17 against the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's take a look at the team stats. So on offense, we had Kyler Murray throw 260 yards. With rushing, we had McCaffrey run for 62 and Murray run for 42. Receiving wise, we had Kittle with over 100, Deebo Samuel with 90 basically, and then we had Kittle and Samuel with 2 receiving touchdowns. And then Nick Bosa led the game in tackles with 9. And then did we have any sacks? We had Eric Armstead and Samson Ebukam get 2 sacks. And then interceptions wise, we had 0 interceptions. Did we have any forced fumbles? Let's see. We had 1 forced fumble by Nick Bosa. So it's sad that we couldn't win, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you never miss an upload. And thank you.